Hi everyone, my most requested video is finally here, and that is how to do skin tones with the 12-pack Faber Castell Polychromos. In this video I'm going to talk you through how you can achieve a minimum of 8 different types of skin tones using just these pencils. I'm going to talk you through some techniques and the colours that we need to use, so let's get started. First of all though guys, if you are new to my channel and you are going to be enjoying this video, which you don't know yet until you watch it, please don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification for all to be notified of when a new video is up and when I go live every Wednesday, which is a multiple of arts, crafts and tutorial videos. The fair skin tone, which is what we start off with, you are going to need your burnt ochre, your magenta, your walnut, your white and your scarlet red. You would of course spend a bit more time on yours than I spent on this, but I was aware that I was quite late in getting this video out for you guys, and as I say, with over 17,000 views on my previous video, I have had a lot of requests to see if this can be done with the 12 colour pencils. So when you start to do these skin tones, have a practice like I have done here, because it teaches you how you can create the tones without having to make too many errors on the portrait that you'll be working on. Make sure that you're blending lightly in between. I actually applied a little more pressure than normal because the camera doesn't always pick it up very well, so I just made it a bit darker than I would normally do, so you could really get a good view down the camera lens. But make sure that you're blending in between. The white, I decided to use that because it gives it a certain translucency that skin has. No matter the colour of your skin, there is always a certain amount of translucency there. So it's worth using the whites to do all your blendings with. When we come onto the medium, you'll see that, well, you'll see actually that most of the skin tones are all exactly the same colours. But with the medium, instead of actually using the white and the burnt ochre very gently with your base colours, you're actually going to cover the entire surface with burnt ochre as your base colour. That way you're making a much stronger tone and you're sort of giving it much more pigmented look, which is what you're after compared to the fair skin tone. Working in these light motions just gives you the ability to blend in between each layer. If you find that some of your around like your eyes and your nose, you know, your mouth, where the skin is generally a bit thinner, that you want a bit of blue tone, you can get your light ultramarine and apply that over your highlight areas or even in your shadows. So don't be afraid to bring the light ultramarine in. If you think that it's maybe looking a bit too red or yellow, you can actually bring that in to help tone it down slightly. With the olive, I've used here the light green, again another one that you can use in your shadows, but you can actually with olive skin get a purple undertone as well. So depending on the reference that you're looking at will depend on the type of olive skin that you go for, but I specifically chose this olivey green as this skin tone actually runs quite commonly in our family. So you'll see at the moment it does look very green and it looks very odd, but as you wash over your colour and as you give it this nice glaze, you'll see that the skin tone changes, and as we bring in the magenta and the walnut and the burnt ochre over the top, it really does give you this very natural olive looking skin tone. I worked in the shadows very slightly on this one compared to ones that I've done before, because I wanted to concentrate on what would be the biggest expanse of skin. So rather than worry about doing shadows, because I think that really is going to depend on your reference photo, but it just gives you a bit of a hint about what it would look like using these exact pencils. But as I say, you can bring in the light green, the light ultramarine, and you can very gently glaze over with black, which will tone any colours down. For the tanned, I used the burnt ochre, the white, the walnut and magenta. You'll see that I didn't actually bring any scarlet red into this, and that's generally because I find when I look at sort of tanned skin that there isn't a huge amount of red pigment in there. It seems to be more brown than red. So we're looking on sort of the colder side of brown rather than the warmer. So the tanned here used with the ochre actually gives it a really nice natural feel, and it works really, really well with these particular colours. So, I mean, I was quite amazed actually how easy it was to render up these skin tones with just these particular colours. When I do portraits, I use so many colours when I'm trying to do my portraits, and I do use other pencils as well. But the fact that we can do this with 12 pencils, I was really, really happy with. The dark skin tones, I'm giving you 2 examples here, and these 2 examples can actually be pushed into the olive, the medium, the fair, and the tanned. So you can actually achieve a lot more than 8 different types of skin tones. We've used the light ultramarine as the underbase for the cold, and the reason being is if when you look at dark and black skin tones, you can actually see sort of various areas, and sometimes depending on the light, that they're actually a cold version rather than a warm version. And again, it's just a case of really looking at your reference photo to making sure that you're getting this correct. You may even have both in the same portrait. Rather, again, than going down with your lighter colours, we are making sure that you put your light ultramarine down first for your cold and burnt ochre first down for your warm. We are then expanding sort of how far we go out with regards to putting down the walnut and the magenta, so you're going further into the skin. And again, we do blend with the white, and you'll see actually near the end of the cold and the warm version on the dark the difference that it makes just by blending over with the white. It also helps tone down some of the pigment, which means that it's not such a stark sort of red or a stark yellow. It just sort of helps just tone the whole lot down. I've done a final wash here of the light ultramarine, and I have actually brought a bit of black in. I don't know why I haven't put it in there. It's not black, I lied, it's walnut. Apparently I don't know my own pencils. It's walnut, it's not black. So yeah, it's just a case of keep blending and layering and going in between, and you'll see here just by putting that white over the top the difference it makes in that translucency of the skin. As I say, you will take much more care over doing this when you do your portraits. I needed to get this done as I had recorded 3 videos already that day that I did this, and my poor little hand was getting very, very achy. And I had an accident with a saw on that hand the day before, so it's a little bit sore too. But it gives you the idea, it gives you the gist, it gives you the colours that you can use, which means that you don't have to go out and you don't have to spend loads of money to practice doing skin tones. The 12 kit Polychromos, you can actually attain over 120 colours, and I do have a video which shows you how, and I'll put that up in the card for you so you can see that if you want to. I'll also pop a link in the description below so you can have a look at that one as well, and I'll link you to the other skin tone tutorials that I have because I have rather a lot. I'll put the playlist up for you. So again, even with black skin, you have a cold undertone and you have a warm undertone. So we're going to layer with the light ultramarine on the cold and the burnt ochre on the warm. And again, you'll see the colours are exactly the same. We're pretty limited with a pack of 12 colours, let's be fair. And it just then is a case of blending over with all the types of colours that you need, depending on your reference photo. I do actually bring black into this set of colours, and that is to help tone some of the pigment down, and it works really well. And when you do it, you really only need to glaze. You do not need to be heavy, you really don't. You just need a very gentle glazing. If you've never heard the term glazing when it comes to pencils, all it essentially is a very light layer over a colour that you have put down. It's used very commonly in oil and acrylic. But it just means that you can tone down the pigment without it being so stark. And it's a good way of getting it to look much more natural than if you were to have it either, you know, very, very cold or very, very warm. And yeah, it just blends it all together. You'll see as we work on it. But when they're all here as a collective, you can really see the differences that you can get between all of your skin tones. So you have really got a rainbow. And you can go from your fair, medium, olive, tan, dark, black with using exactly the same colours, just in a different format or with a different pressure. It's just crazy actually how many skin tones you can get from these 12 packs. I do hope that you have enjoyed the video. If you have, please, I would love a thumbs up. It really helps my channel out. And if you know anybody that is just starting out or has the 12 pack of pencils, please don't hesitate to share them or direct them to this video, because I am more than happy to help as many people as I can. Again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel and you have enjoyed this content so far. There will be a new Luminance kit tutorial coming out about how to do the skin tones with their new colours, so keep your eye out for that. That will be out hopefully Monday. And yeah, have a good morning, afternoon, evening, whichever it may be, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye!